The Serpent Egg. So just what exactly is this little druidic amulet? So, the Serpent's Egg. Now this, apparently, was an amulet that was worn by the Druids. And it was said to have been created only during the summer months and at a certain age of the moon. Although exactly what age of the moon doesn't seem to be specified anywhere. I wouldn't worry too much about trying to create a serpent's egg. You see, the process is really quite complicated. So the serpent's egg is apparently created when a whole group of serpents get together and they crawl all over each other and the way serpents do, and from their spittle and their hissing they create this foam which gels together, and after a while this apparently forms a solid crystal, and their hissing sends it up into the air. And the story is that you must catch the egg before it hits the ground, and you must catch it in a blanket, and you must have a horse ready and waiting. So once you've caught the egg, you have to jump on the horse and you have to ride as fast as you can, and you have to ride towards the nearest water or river and cross the river, because the serpents are going to chase you, and the only way to stop the serpents from catching you is by going across the water. Now that's a lot of effort to get a serpent's egg, and it sounds pretty dangerous to me too. Plus, you have to get the timing all right. Now that was the story told to us by Pliny the Elder. Now, Pliny the Elder was one of the classical writers of old Rome, and he wrote the natural histories, and he wrote that in the 1st century AD. And it's in that book where he describes the serpent's egg. And I'll read a bit of that for you now. So here's a translation from the natural histories in regards to the serpent's egg. There is a sort of egg in great repute among the Gauls, of which the Greek writers have made no mention. A vast number of serpents are twisted together in summer and coiled up in an artificial knot by their saliva and slime, and this is called the serpent's egg. The Druids say that it is tossed in the air with hissing and must be caught in a cloak before it touches the earth. The person who thus intercepts it flies on horseback, for the serpents will pursue him until prevented by intervening water. He goes on to say, and the Magi are cunning to conceal their frauds. They give out that this egg must be obtained at a certain age of the moon. Now, he says, I've seen that egg as large and as round as a common-sized apple, in a checkered, cartilaginous cover, and worn by the Druids. Now from that sentence there we can see that Pliny didn't like the Druids, and he didn't like magic, full stop. He didn't like the Zoroastrians, and he didn't like the Druids, and he didn't like the rituals that were being formed in the name of magic. His prime concern really seemed to be the rituals and the sacrifice, and elsewhere in natural histories he calls the work of magic barbaric acts. Anyway, back on to the serpent's egg. So Pliny tells us that these eggs, these crystals that were gathered by the Druids at a certain age of the moon and only in summer, were worn by the Druids within a cartilaginous frame. So I suppose what he's saying is that this serpent's egg, this crystal egg, was contained within a kind of basket work frame and worn around the neck. Now these serpent's eggs were good for apparently a whole host of things. To keep away the evil eye, and to bring good fortune, and specifically noted is that it was said that if you wore one of these, that you would never lose a court case. And this was taken really very seriously by the Romans, and the Emperor Claudius even had a man executed for wearing a serpent's egg in a Roman court. So I've read another story about the creation of the serpent's egg, and this one is perhaps a little more plausible, and it states that some people referred to the Druids as adders, and an adder is a type of snake. And the story says that they would meet in the summer months and at a certain age of the moon, and they would ritually create these serpent's eggs from glass. Now that sounds a bit more reasonable to me, but not as mystical or exciting, and so I suspect that the Druids would have encouraged people to believe the initial story, the first story I told. So I suspect at the end of the day, the truth is that these serpent's eggs were ritually or created during ritual and consecrated, and they served as amulets to bring good fortune and as a badge of office. And as such, I have no doubt they had sacred rituals and methods of consecration that they used to charge these stones. And I think that the bottom line basically was the Druids that had these stones were so invested within their rituals and their belief systems that as far as they were concerned, they truly believed that this serpent's egg would ward off evil, would bring good luck. So this is all about faith and belief. And this should not be underestimated. The faith and belief puts you in a positive frame of mind, a creative frame of mind. Now, man is the creator of his own universe. And it all starts with belief.